Okay, what is up, guys? This is the Average Johnny coming to you today, and for the beginning, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this video is not gonna be a typical gaming video. It's not gonna be anything entertainment related. So it's gonna be kind of a podcast-ish video. So I'm not really gonna edit anything. It's gonna play out for quite a while. If you guys are down to listen to a story and listen to a few things, listen to a speech, listen to a podcast, basically, feel free to do it. I have a few things that I would like to say and a few things that I need to point out as to life. So if you guys don't want to participate in any of this or listen to any of this, feel free to go ahead and click off, because yeah, it is going to be a different kind of video today. But right off the bat, I have to say that there are going to be some topics that are going to be kind of hard to talk about, some topics that are kind of stressful. Well, not really stressful, but it's difficult to get through, and it's going to be just, about real life and how things happen. So in order to not make it too depressing, too sad, or too serious, I decided to kind of give you guys a little preview of what I'm working with right now. So the last time you guys saw me face to face in front of the camera, like in this way, I guess you could say, I had some terrible lighting. Everything was terrible. There was no proper lighting made. Everything looked kind of weird. So for this video, I decided to at least showcase a little bit of what I've been improving on. So you can see I got a little headlight going on here, so everything looks good. That's fantastic. You know what? Might even want to move it a little bit just so my hair is highlighted. There you go. Look at that. Ooh, hair is highlighted perfectly. This looks fantastic. Love the look. And yeah, I got a little side light here in case I look too dark on the side. I don't like that too much, so we're going to fix that with a little small light. I have my new Lighter Beam LX that is from Logitech. I think it's really fantastic. I love it, and I can't wait to get to what I have to say today, because there's some good stuff and there's going to be some things that are going to be a little less lighthearted to talk about. So let's get right down to it. The last time I posted on here was probably in February, maybe early March. I can't really recall. It was a video where I ranked vehicles for the Simpsons Hit and Run. No, it wasn't the vehicles, was it? No, it was the missions. It was the missions. Sorry, I don't know why I said vehicles. I must be thinking about that other video that someone did where they ranked all the vehicles. But so that was the last video I did. It was kind of there was really no edits done to it. There wasn't a whole lot of effort put into it, mostly because I wanted you guys to have something. So I kind of made it a podcast-ish episode 2 kind of thing. So that was that. I didn't mean to not make it more aesthetically pleasing or aesthetically how do you say more pleasing to listen to overall. That wasn't the intention. I had bigger plans for the channel, so I'm gonna try to avoid stuttering as much as possible, so that way this is as painless as possible to listen to. So let's go ahead and get down to what I have to talk about today. So a few months back in December, or back in late December, I was planning to make a comeback. I was planning to make a comeback to YouTube, because the last time I had made a video, I was talking about how I had to put the channel on pause due to me getting a lot busier with videography and trying to pursue other things. So I said that I was not going to have time to be on this channel as much as I would have loved to have been. So I said that it would be better if I take a temporary pause, put things on hold, and just kind of focus on that for the time being. That was back in August of 2023. And I thought it was going to be like maybe a 6-month pause and I would come back and everything would be good. However, that was not the case. Everything was a whole lot different from there. The plan was I was supposed to come back and talk to you guys about what had improved, what had gotten better. And I said the next time I came back on here that I would have some excellent news to deliver to you guys. And while I don't want to say I have the most excellent of news, I do want to say that in terms of videography and photography work, I think I'm headed in a pretty good direction. I've worked with some specific clienteles. I've had family events. I've had restaurant businesses. And I've also got another upcoming project that maybe I might talk about another time. But this is what I'm doing right now, and everything is looking pretty positive for the most part. So I think that's a really huge win. We're in a good position in terms of the videography pathway of the average Johnny. Uh, so what had happened was around the last holiday season, so November, December 2024, I was starting to miss YouTube. I was starting to miss the average Johnny. I was starting to miss. I was reminiscing about the old videos I used to post. How I didn't really care about the production value. I didn't care how good it looked. I was just putting videos out there because I wanted to show people what I was doing and what I thought was cool and all that kind of stuff. So I started to miss that aspect of YouTube. I started missing the fact that I just wanted to post what I really liked. And after working for so many different people, you start to realize that it really can never be as fun as it is when you do stuff for yourself as a content creator. And so I thought maybe I can go back to it, and I was starting to miss it a lot. So I was thinking to myself that I would come back to YouTube, make a cool comeback, and start a flurry of videos and projects for this channel. And I was super excited for it. So around December of 2024, around the middle to end, is when I might have posted that little vignette of saying like, oh, something's gone wrong. We're rebranding what is it? Reprogramming, rebooting the program, whatever you want to call it. Everything was looking pretty cool. I was like, okay, cool. We're going to do kind of this WWE-esque vignette videos that they like to do. So that's kind of where that inspiration came from for that first one. And then the second video was confirming that I was returning in 2025. It was, just a flurry of like a messy desk and me just like getting all the parts back. Let's put it all together. Let's get this set up back again. Let's get back into YouTube again. And so that was the plan. The plan was I was going to return in January of 2025 or 2025 in general. I didn't really give a month. I was supposed to return with a video. I was supposed to return with projects or at least an update to tell you guys what was going to happen. It was all going to go very well. I was super excited. Now, before January even hit, I was already at a period where I was just exhausted. I had taken on a number of projects throughout that year for videography, and of course I have my daytime job, which is a whole nother thing. So think of it as I was working two jobs. You could say that. You could say I was. So that was that. It was pretty hectic. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of things that I had to take care of, a lot of investments I had to make, a lot of upgrades to my equipment that I had to make, and a lot of deadlines. A lot of deadlines that I had to meet, and just keeping up with everything in general. So during December, I could say I was just facing a ton of exhaustion to the point where I must have revisited a small period where over 10 years ago, back when I was in high school, I had a period where I had suffered a lot of anxiety. I'm not sure what exactly triggered it. There was a lot of things going on at the time. Of course, I'm not going to dive into that too much, but it did relate to family. It related to school, and there was just a number of other things going on at the time. So there became a point where I was not sleeping well. Sometimes, I forget to breathe, take a simple breath, that kind of thing. I was just unable to just get myself together. I was not able to concentrate on anything, and I was just feeling sad for the most part. It was a very difficult time. Fortunately, it's kind of a high school thing. You're young, you learn a lot of things. Rather than taking a lot of therapy and doctor's appointments, I just decided to kind of take the thing on myself, and I started doing a lot of research, a lot of breathing exercises, a lot of like self-reflection, a lot of moments where I just think to myself about everything that I've done in my life and everything that I want to see happen in the future. So everything was looking okay. Everything eventually did get better that same summer. So in 2014, I want to say it was in the spring where it started happening. And in the summer, towards the end of it, is when I was able to kind of recover, and my mental state was kind of where it needed to be, and I felt so much better. I never had a time period like that ever again up until maybe of December of 2024. So I already said how I was really exhausted. Oh, sorry. Sound effects. Let's keep it low. So I was already exhausted from work. I was already exhausted from a lot of things. It's holiday season and people are, buying stuff. People are getting gifts for their family members, their loved ones, and then of course there's your financial situations at home as well. So everything was kind of all over the place. Everything was piling up, but that's typical life. Everyone has to deal with it. Everyone has to get through it. Why am I jittering? Okay, OBS, you went. Now I have to make an edit. Fantastic. So back to what I was saying. Everything was. We just had a lot of stuff going on as a family, and I just thought maybe that it was just too much. So there was a period where I was having those moments of where I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was uneasy. Resting was difficult, and I thought something might have been wrong with me. So I was kind of stressing about that for a few weeks, and that actually happened shortly after the video I released, believe it or not. I'm not sure why I was thinking that things were wrong. I just thought I was sick. I just thought there was something that was wrong with me. And that's kind of what happens when you get to that point. When you get to that point of just being anxious, you just think things are wrong. You think something's going to happen to you. You feel this sense of something terrible is just about to happen. And fortunately, it was able to go away fairly quickly. Instead of the 3 months that it took when I was younger, I was able to kind of relieve myself within a week and a half or so. So that was a huge relief. I needed some family time. Christmas time came around. Everything was great. We had a great time. We all got together. We were able to have fun. So I was thinking to myself, yeah, maybe I just need a family time. I definitely need a vacation. So I took a week off from work, and that was in the beginning. So right after New Year, I took a vacation from work. It was only 1 week, but I was like, you know what? 7 days is fine. I'll take it. Uh, Unfortunately, I was falling a little behind on my projects, on my client work, so I had to use that vacation time to finish up said projects. So did I really get a vacation? Not so much. So I started the vacation maybe on Sunday, and it went all the way up until the next week. So the plan was during that vacation is when I was going to film my first video. Everything was going to be great. I was going to show you guys a little glimpse of what was going to happen. I had the plan all set out. So I got through the anxiety period. I was thankful for that. The new year was starting, and that's when I think the California fires started happening, and everything was just like, what the heck? What's happening? The year's already starting off really strange. There was all kinds of things that were going on in the beginning of the year. I don't know why. So I take my vacation. Everything was looking okay for the moment. So I want to say January 13th of 2025. I believe it might have been a Sunday or a Monday. I was supposed to record my first video back on YouTube. Like official video, not like a speech video or like this one right now or a podcast or anything like that. It was going to be a video where I kind of hype myself back up, and I also give like a glimpse of what was coming to the channel and what I was going to do. And I was really excited for it. I was excited. I was like, screw it. I'm hella tired, but I'm coming back to YouTube. I'm happy. Everything's going to be great. That was scheduled for January 13th. The video was going to release sometime later in the week. Maybe on a Thursday or Friday. I'm not really sure. That was January 13th. On January 11th, everything kind of changed. And I had to put everything on pause. On January 11th, I came home. Well, no, I didn't come home. I was finishing a project, so I came home from the desk. I guess you could say from this desk. I was working on client work. I finished it up finally. Everything was great. I was like, finally, I have it done. I can get it ready to be delivered, and I could finally get that weight off my shoulder and finally take a nice little break. So I finished the project. I was relieved, and I hop on Black Ops 6. I don't know what you guys think of that game, but I was just playing multiplayer. And I don't even think one round in, I get a call around 10:30 p.m. So it's already pretty late. And I get a call that my mom was rushed to the emergency room and that she had suffered a stroke. So when I got that call, I did not know how to react. I didn't know what to say. I just stayed quiet, and we went straight to the hospital. We went straight to the hospital, to the ER, and I was able to go see my mom. And the amount of fear, the amount of despair that I felt that night was something I could not describe. I obviously was not able to hold it together at the moment, and everything was just I felt like the entire world had just taken a huge pause. So that was the reason why I had to put everything on pause. So fortunately, good news, my mom is still alive. But the circumstances surrounding everything that happened that night is what kind of messes with me the most to this day. You know, she was out and about. She was at a party, and from what everyone was telling me that was there, she was having a great time. She was having the time of her life. You know, I come from a Mexican family, so she was partying it up. She was dancing like crazy. My mom's not an alcoholic. She doesn't drink at all, so she wasn't drinking. She was just out there dancing. Everything was cool. And apparently she just wanted to take a restroom break, and she felt fine. But as she was going to her restroom break, that's when the incident occurred. And fortunately for her, somebody was able to find her and was able to call my stepdad to step in and find out what was happening and what was going on. They dialed 911 immediately. She was rushed to the ER, and fortunately, her life was saved. So for anyone that knows anything about a family member or anyone that has had a stroke, there's different kinds. I'm not sure how many there are, but the two of them that I know of the most is ischemic strokes and hemorrhagic. I'm not sure if I'm saying those correctly, but my mom had a hemorrhagic stroke. And once I studied more upon it, it's pretty dangerous. That occurs when there's a rupture in the brain and there's a heavy bleeding in the brain. And depending on what side got hit in your brain is the side that will get affected. My mom's was hit on the left side. So on the left side of the brain, from what physicians and doctors have told me, that is where her receptors for speech and movement come from. So the image of what I saw when I went in that ER was gut-wrenching, to say the least. I was really scared that night and for that week, because it was a waiting game. They weren't able to tell us if she was going to be okay. They weren't able to tell us if there was something for us to worry about, what to look out for. They just said we have to wait for the scans. Those scans only took a week, but it felt like an eternity, because I did not know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to see my mom in her normal state again. I didn't know if I was going to hear her voice. I didn't know if she would be able to say that she loved me one more time. I did not see my mom on New Year. On January 1st, I was not there with her. I only talked to her over the phone, but I wasn't with her. The thing that saddens me the most is her in that ER was the first time I saw my mom in 2025. That is the first memory I have of her of this year. With me being busy with work and everything going on, I didn't want to go anywhere. I wasn't trying to leave the house. I stayed indoors almost every day for the first 2 weeks of 2025. The fact that that's the first memory I've had of her of this year is just makes me feel guilty, makes me feel sad, makes me feel horrible as a person, as a son. But I was able to, put all that aside and focus on what mattered the most, and that was my mom's health. Um, I'm trying to keep up. I'm gonna try to keep the energy up. All right. So after the first week of that incident, um, as you can imagine, I put everything on hold. I didn't give an explanation. I didn't put a post saying like, "Hey guys, I'm not gonna do it anymore. You guys have to wait." I had to see everything that was gonna happen first. I had to know everything that was gonna happen before I said anything. I did not know if I was gonna see my mom again. I didn't know if she was gonna speak to me. I didn't know what was gonna happen. So I didn't want to make any moves or make any announcements or anything like that. It was a very, very difficult time for all of us. And the reason why I make such a big deal out of this, and the reason why I want you guys to understand, is my mom has been a major part of my character, of who I am. And she is the pure definition of a mother. Loving, caring, nurturing. Mom doesn't care how old I am, or if I don't live under her roof anymore. I still have a key to her house. She tells me, "I don't care if you don't live under my roof. You come whenever you want. I will serve you whatever dish you like. If I have food, I will offer you a plate immediately. Come over to eat. This house is still open to you no matter what. I don't care if you moved out." I'm trying not to be too sad on the camera. I am blessed to have a mother like her. The sacrifices she made, everything that she gave up in her own life just to give me the opportunity to succeed in mine. She gave up her whole life for me and my brothers. So when I thought I was going to lose her, or I didn't know what was going to happen to her, I didn't know how to react. I wasn't ready for it. I never imagined it. And I was not ready to accept it at this moment if something worse had happened. You know, everybody has their parents. I know a lot of you guys know how much moms put effort into a lot of things. My mom literally fought for everything that we had. And saying fighting for what we had is an understatement. She gave up her whole life. Everything that she had, that she could have had, she gave up for us. But of course, all of that took a toll on her as well. And she's very proud of everything that she's done for us. her biggest pride in her life is being a mother. So, damn, this is a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. Man, it's really hard to, keep a good composure when you're talking about somebody that you thought you were going to lose, especially when it's someone that means that much to you. Now, I'm not going to come on here and say that I was the perfect son, because I wasn't. And when that moment took place, when that event took place, I started reflecting on everything that I've done, everything that I did, and if I was ever really a good son to her. It was hard to even fathom going into my mom's house when she was not there. My mom spent 4 months, 3 months in different hospitals. 2 different hospitals, 2 rehabilitation centers. And for the first month, she was not able to speak. She lost her ability to talk. Her mouth movement was completely shattered. So when you have a hemorrhagic stroke on your left side, it's weird how it works. When they say that you have one on your left side of your brain, it affects your right. So all this droop down, arms all the way down, legs completely immobile. She lost all sensation of her right side. She was not able to speak to us. She was not able to talk. The first week, she could barely even know that we were there. That's when we were afraid the most. She spent a lot of time in the ICU. Well, it was only 5 days, but those 5 days felt like an eternity. When they told us that they were moving her out of ICU because the bleeding in her brain was showing signs of slowing and stabilizing, that's when we got our first glance of hope. We were able to finally get some decent sleep. As the days went by and as the weeks went by, they were telling us that they were going to transfer her over to her actual doctor hospital, her insurance hospital. So that's when we started getting more glimmers of hope. And we were being a lot more optimistic at that point. We were finally able to get some sleep. We were constantly visiting her almost every other day, if not every day straightforward, visiting her in the hospital, making her feel welcome, making her feel not welcome, making her feel, loved, cared for. The biggest thing that helped us out the most was that she had so much support. My mom has such a great character. She has friends literally all over the place. And all those people came to see her. And I could not have been happier for the amount of support that she received. There was a lot of support to the point that there was days where we couldn't even go see her because she had too much visit. We have a whole community here that come from the same area. So they have a pretty large community, and then so that means she has a lot of family and friends that went to go visit her. Even people from her job that came to visit her at the hospital. She had so much support that I think that's part of the reason why she was able to recover so well. Fast forwarding to today, my mom continues to recover. She is taking a lot of therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and a lot of that has to do with us as well. Today is one of my days off from work. I also take that as a day off to kind of rest too. I usually go see her every other day or so, if not 2 days straight, stuff like that. I try to go as often as I can to go see her and be with her. Luckily, she's being cared for. I had some amazing, amazing family and loved ones that sacrificed their time to take care of her. Since unfortunately I was not able to drop out of work. She's had so much support, and it's really helped a lot. So, so with all of that being said, I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you guys about what was going on and why I wasn't able to actually why I wasn't able to continue the YouTube channel as I wanted to. I was only able to do that ranking video that I did a month later. Like I said, I think it was in February. So by that time, we were already getting better news from the hospital telling us that my mom's condition was stabilizing. They were able to take her off tubes. She wasn't under feeding tubes anymore. After a certain amount of time, she was able to eat on her own. But to this day, it's still hard for her to move around. She's starting to walk again, slowly. She's getting feeling in her arm. And her speech is about 70% back. But 60-70% back. So put it this way. First week, not able to talk, not able to move her arm, not able to move her leg at all. Not even able to know who's in the room with her. Until like maybe a minute of realizing where she is. Today, she can lift her arm up. Not all the way, but she's lifting it. She's able to walk, not perfectly, but we're helping her with that. We're giving her our own therapy at her house. And her speech is amazing compared to where it was in the beginning. I also want to take the opportunity to tell you guys not to ignore symptoms of anything. If you or a loved one show symptoms of anything that's abnormal, anything that your doctor hasn't told you about, anything that you know is not normal, don't ignore it for too long. At least look into it. Especially when it comes to the brain, when it comes to the head, or your left arm. And remember to take care of your loved ones. Don't let them ignore their symptoms. Don't make the mistakes that I did. With that being said, I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys take the time to listen. And I hope you guys, I was saving this for the end of the video, but luckily things are looking up. We are heading in a good direction. Things are a little tough, I'm not going to lie. I mean, hospitals equals bills, so you know how that is. And of course, I've had to dedicate a lot of time to seeing my mom a lot, so I'm not even home all the time. So it's been kind of hard to keep up with everything. But other than that, my mom's health is getting there. She's doing a lot better today than when she did that first week back in January. And it's going to be a slow recovery, but it's going to be a steady one. And we're going to make sure she gets to where she needs to be. But with that being said, as for the channel, I'm not abandoning it. I hope you guys can understand why I had to take the pause. Why I had to temporarily leave again when I said I was coming back and I did a whole vignette and everything. But I hope you guys understand. And thank you guys for always supporting me on this channel. I will be making content soon since now we're in a better place. I will resume and I'll try to pick up right where I was supposed to be. I can't wait, and I hope you guys will be there. And yeah, don't forget to check up on your loved ones and yourself. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. It's very important. Take it from me. I hope you guys have a good day, And I will see you guys very, very soon. I love you guys. Bye bye.